that you had this morning when we went live. So today we went live and we asked people to ask us real estate questions. And what do you want me to teach you about? Because just about anything in real estate, I've done. I started as an investor. I became a loan officer. Then I became a mortgage broker. And then I became a broker doing real estate transactions and flipping houses and selling property and doing everything that you guys want to do. So Arlene and I talked about doing a class where we actually flip a house and you follow us through. That would be super cool. And we're going to leave this up because I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to come on at the same time. And there's Arlene right now, and she helps me answer all your questions as you're answering my questions. Isadora, you're my favorite fan. You've got to tell me, did you get your real estate license? Did you pass the test and go forward? It says, good evening. And she said hi to you too, Arlene. I know that she knows us because she took our class and it's been super fun. I don't know why my face looks so scary today. I don't know if I didn't have enough sleep or what happened, but hey, it is what it is. And Lourdes, how you doing? So did you get your license yet? I want to hear from all of you because I kind of miss you all. It's been a long journey and the summertime's been really hard because my mom's really needing me a lot. She is 92 years old. And I think a lot of us are going to be in that situation where we're taking care of our parents and our kids at the same time. And it's a lot of work, especially if they don't live by you. So, what I'm looking to do, and I'll videotape it and take you guys every step of the way if I do it, but I'm looking at putting in an ADU. And an ADU is, wait, what's it say? My test is on Saturday. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for you. Now, you took our class a couple of times, right? And you're ready? I am ready. She says she's ready. I know you're going to pass. Where are you located? So what city are you going to be selling real estate in? I'm waiting. It's not showing me. This morning it did the same thing. It didn't show me all the comments, so I couldn't talk about them. But we did capture them. We screen captured. It says, yes, yes, I did. Lourdes, oh, you did. Where are you working? This is so cool. All my students are passing and getting their license. I'm in Norwalk. Oh, you know that I have property in Downey, right? I have a 55 plus property in Downing over by the high school across the street from the Embassy Suites on Dolan Avenue. I have a rental property. It's just a little condo. It's no big deal. But anyway, so there was questions that people were asking us. Slowly people are coming on. And one of the question was about capital gains. So currently, and it was cute because somebody asked me, if I take out a loan, am I not going to have capital gains? It doesn't go by how much you owe on the property. You're local. She's local. Wait, yes, I know that my parents live in Downey too. Oh, cool. So anyway, the one of the questions was about capital gains. So like I was talking about earlier today when people are asking me questions was, a lot of the people ask me, what's happening with the real estate market? People are still selling. Okay, but there's not a lot of homes on the market. And the reason there's not a lot of homes on the market is let's think logically. Let's use our common sense. Now, the French say that common sense is not so common, but common sense tells me that if I refinance my home, let's pretend that I refinance my home and my interest rate is 2.5%. My makeup looks terrible tonight. It's, you know what? I just got out of the swimming pool. I have to admit, it's summertime and the swimming pool calls me. So anyway, what's happening is if you refinanced your home and you have a super low interest rate, why would you sell that home and downsize and have a higher interest rate and a smaller home? It makes no sense. But then again, what else makes no sense to you sellers out there is adding an ADU and living downstairs and leaving your upstairs empty. So, you know what? I'm adding the downstairs, but I'm not leaving my house empty because I live by a college and I rent my rooms to college students. Now, some of you can't do that because, you're a couple or you have a husband and wife and you're not comfortable having other people in your house. But what you could do, hit the button, the like button. Oh, you're so cute. Hit the like button, you guys. You got to like me so that I keep coming back. I know you do. And I couldn't come back because really seriously, I was doing a lot of things with my mom. We were trying to figure out what we're going to do with her properties. Cause like mother, like daughter, she has a couple of properties and so do I. So, that's just how it is. But I didn't learn it from her. I think she learned it from me. Isn't that cool? So, capital gains. Let's talk about capital gains. Now, the other thing that you guys have to do is get involved, be involved with your board, talk to your local senator and your local assembly person. If you talk to the people who represent you, things do change. And the good news is one of our guys is a guy named Bob Archuleta, and he's a realtor, so and an investor. And because of that, he is for property owners' rights. And that's a really cool thing because right now there's a Senate bill. That's what it's called, SB. Whenever it has a SB in front of it, when you're voting on it, it stands for Senate bill. There's a Senate bill, I believe it's a Senate bill because it's being voted on, to raise the capital gain limit. Now, how capital gains works is, let's say that I buy my house for 300,000 and now I want to sell it for 800,000. Okay, 3 8, that's a $500,000 capital gain. Okay, if I'm married and my husband and I have both been on title for 2 of the last 5 years, so we could live in it, we could rent it out for 3 years, live in it, and then we can sell it, and the first $500,000, which is our capital gain, is tax free. Okay. And if I'm single and I don't have a husband on spouse, then it's only 250,000. Now, somebody today asked me if I take a loan out on it, is the capital gain based on, I take out a loan and now I got a loan for 700,000 and it's worth 850. Now I'm only going to have a capital gain of 150. No, that doesn't work like that. It goes on your purchase price, which is your basis. So there's not tax classes, but we do talk about taxes in our exam prep and in the principles course. Now, the good news is I'm going to finish the principles course for those of you who have not passed your state exam yet. And I'm going to start up with the practice course. And I spoke to the book provider, the textbook provider, and she's going to send me the practice book. And it's up to date. It's the current one that has implicit bias training in it, which you're going to have to take if you don't get your test or don't get your real estate license by January 1st. They're adding the implicit bias training. So you have to know about that and you have to be aware of it. Also, so back to the capital gains, because I'm kind of going all over the place. The thing about the Senate bill is they have not raised the capital gain. The amount of 500,000 if you're married and 250,000 if you're single. They have not raised that in over 22 years. So they're looking, the Senate bill that they have proposed, it's not voted on yet, but it should be pretty soon. They're going to change the 500,000 to 1 million for a couple. If you lived in your house for 2 of the last 5 years and you have $1 million capital gain, you're not going to pay any tax on it. So you guys have to be aware about these. Whenever there's something to vote on, it does make a difference if you vote. And a lot of people don't think it does make a difference, but it does. The Realtor Party is 1.5 million strong. And because we're so strong, when something that we back or we feel is important for homeowners and property rights, we let them know this is something we're not going to back. This is something we're going to fight. And when we fight it, sometimes people back down. So we've seen the California Association of Realtors and the National Association make a difference and help make a change. And so you do want to be involved with that. So they're looking at changing the $500,000 capital gain with a couple to $1 million, and with a single person from 250,000 to 500,000. So when I was in front of and talking with Bob Archuleta, I said, because I'm a single person, I said, why is it different from a single person? I mean, I get 2 people versus 1 person, but it's property taxes and it's property rights. So I think that we should have the same rights. It's not my fault I'm not married, or is it? Right? So anyway, going on. So I see that more people joined us. Please hit the like and please hit the comments, because as you can see right now, I'm answering the questions that people put in our comment today. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Every time someone puts a comment in or we have an open forum, that's what I'm going to call it. Open forum. That's a good idea, huh, Arlene? So we'll do an open forum on a month, in the morning on a day, and then I'll come back late at night and answer all your questions. So the question was about the capital gain. If I take out a loan, is the capital gain going to be less? And the answer is no, because it goes by your purchase price. So even if you bought the house for 300,000 and you refinance and took 500,000 out, and now you sell it for 600,000, you're still going to have the capital gain from the purchase price to the sales price, because so what you have to understand is when somebody refinances and they take a bunch of cash out. So let's say that your house, let's talk about my mom. So my mom is going to do a reverse mortgage. Her house is paid off free and clear, and we're going to do a reverse mortgage and get $500,000 in our hand. We will not be taxed on that $500,000. We're going to take that money and we're going to do whatever my mom wants to do because she's 92 years old. She wants to buy a Challenger. And I told her, Mom, it's a muscle car. She's like, what's a muscle car? And I go, it's not a car for you to drive. Plus, it has blind spots. So we have to look for a car that she can put her walker in and drive. If she keeps her license, we'll know on September the 6th if the judge says she can still drive. But we're going to take the money out. She's going to do whatever she wants. She doesn't have to pay taxes on it because it's a refinance. She's taking the money out of her equity. So anytime you take the money out of your equity, you don't pay the taxes at that time. However, if we sell the property and she bought it, let's say for 580 and we sell it for 680, that's a $200,000 capital gain. So she does not have to pay capital gain taxes because she can get 250,000 without paying taxes. Now remember, I'm not a CPA. I am a mortgage broker and a loan officer. I'm currently not acting as a loan officer. I have my real estate broker's license. I guess I should throw out the number and just in case, because I don't want to get myself in trouble. Anytime you're doing advertising, you're supposed to give out your license number. It's a 1018706. Don't I have a cool number? And I don't have a real estate company that I have to disclose because I'm a broker. I work for myself. So if you're going through your real estate classes and you want to understand how in the media you're supposed to disclose, anytime you have first contact with somebody and you give them a business card or you hang a flyer on their door or a door hanger or anything, you're supposed to let them know who you work for and your license number. I just went through, oh my God, a reverse mortgage nightmare with your uncle. I wonder what happened. Why was it a nightmare? You got to give me a call and let me know how it went and why. So some reverse mortgages are FHA, depending on the loan amount, and some are jumbo. Now, the FHA ones charge you a huge mortgage insurance, which we're going to have to pay, but we want to get my mom's money out now because I don't want her to die and not be able to use her money because it's her money, not my money. So if it went through bad, it says reach out to our mortgage. Oh, Arlene's telling you to reach out to our mortgage team because we have a great mortgage team. We've been doing mortgages since I was 25 years old, and I'm way over that. So talk to us about your reverse mortgage and what happened, and we'll see, if we can answer your questions on what you can do or anything that can help you. Anytime you're having a nightmare on a deal, call us. We'll tell you if it's really a nightmare or if somehow, some way, it's just maybe the loan officer's not telling you what's going on. The hardest part about refinancing your home, doing a reverse mortgage, anything like that, is not understanding everything. And as you guys know, when I teach, I'm the same way when I'm explaining loan documents. I explain everything. I ask if the client understands it, and then we go on to the next thing. All right. So we did the capital gains. No loan. So don't get a loan on your house just because you think you're going to get a better tax basis. You're not. Let's see. Yes to the transfer tax. So the transfer tax was made for people who buy a home and when they get older, they want to sell their property and not pay a capital and not pay the capital gains. Or at the same time, they want to take their tax base with them. So let me tell you a quick little story. And see, these kinds of stories help you be better realtors, which is the next question. How can I be a better realtor and how can I stand out above the others? Well, let me tell you a little story about how you can be a better realtor. Maybe we should name this one, Be a Better Realtor, if you listen to the end of this video. So being a better realtor means understanding all the laws and understanding how to help your client. So I was in the beautiful city of Moreno Valley and I was showing homes to a client who wanted to buy in Moreno Valley. And we were looking and I learned every neighborhood in Moreno Valley. And what we do is what I do when I'm showing homes, what you might want to do is I name the houses. So this house was called the pool house because it was the only house with a really kick butt backyard with a beautiful pool and a beautiful floor plan. It needed new carpet. The house was a little worn. So my client loved the house and we decided to go back for a second look. Oh gosh, I got to read this. I love this story. I remember it. You always remember my stories. Thank you so much. So this story is really good. She loves the story. So basically what happened was, we went in there to have a second look. And since the realtor knew, since the listing agent knew that I was going back for a second look, she decided not to be there. And she said, my seller will be there for you. And I said, great, we'll see the seller. So the seller opens the door and lets us in. And he goes, I got to tell you guys something before you fall in love with my home. I go, well, that's why we're here for the second look. He's kind of liking it. He goes, well, I don't think I'm going to be selling this home. And I said, well, why are you not selling it? And why were you selling it? And why are you not selling it? And he said, well, I was selling it because my daughter and her husband and their kids, they're down on their luck and they were thinking about moving in with me, and my house is too small. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell this house and buy a bigger house. And I'm like, well, where's the bigger house? And he goes, right down the street and around the corner. I go, so it's the same county. And he's like, yeah, it's the same county. And I go, so what are you selling this for? And he said, I said, I thought it was right around 300. He goes, yeah, it's right. We're asking 300. I go, what are you buying the other one for? He said, 300. And I said, okay. I go, what did you pay for this house? And he said, 150. And I said, so you have $150,000 capital gain. So you're not going to be paying capital gains on that. So he told me, well, it's a tax problem. And I go, what's your tax problem? And he goes, well, the thing is, if I sell this house and I buy that house, my property taxes are going to double. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to afford that. And I said, really? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, he looked about 68. And I said, well, if you're over 55, you can take your tax base with you. Wait, it might be 65. I don't know. I was enjoying myself in the pool, and my friend asked me if we wanted to have a bottle of wine. She likes to come to my house and just soak in the pool. So it might be 65. I don't know. Anyway, Arlene will correct me. I know she will. Anyway, I said to him, I said, if you're over that certain age, and he clearly looked over that age, but I didn't want to say he looked over that age. So I said, if you're over that age, you can take your tax base with you. I'm pretty sure it's 65 now that I'm thinking about it. And I didn't want to say you look like you're 65 or you look like you're 68. And I go, so if you're over 65, you can take your tax base with you. So if you bought this house for 150 and you sell it for 300 and you buy that house for 300, you can just scoot it on over. And he goes, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, you can do that in escrow. So whenever you sell a house or buy a house, you have to fill out some paperwork about the transfer. And I go, you mark the box that says you're over that certain age, and they let you transfer it. And he looks at me, he goes, are you sure? And I said, I was being cocky because I know that I know what I know. And I said, I'm pretty damn sure. And he said, well, can I ask you another question? I said, sure, go ahead. And you guys, I know there's 11 of you, so put your thumbs up because I need you to put your thumbs up and I need you to comment. Because if you comment and tell me what you want to learn, I come back on, see my notes, and I teach you everything that you want to know. That's why I'm calling it teach you everything what I know, teach you whatever I want to tell you, teach you, right? So anyway, he looked at me and I said, yeah, go ahead, ask me. And he goes, why doesn't my realtor know that? And I said, well, maybe it's not her only career because there's a lot of real estate agents out there that are hairdressers, school teachers, firefighters, police officers, but they're not full-time realtors. And they don't go to the realtor meetings and they don't learn everything until the last minute. And maybe it's not her. I don't know. I don't want to say what it is because, I don't want to pick on her. And he goes, well, you know what? I haven't been happy with her. She doesn't seem to have a lot of knowledge. And therefore, if I ever have another person that I want to refer to a realtor, am I allowed to refer you? And I said, absolutely. So, I waited about 6 months to see what happened. My client didn't buy his home because my client wanted to be in a different location. And I called him because you guys got to follow up. That's to be a better realtor, to get more business, to build relationships, you have to follow up. And so I called him up and I said, hey, how's it going? Did you finally move? And he goes, you know what? I am so glad you told me what you told me. Because if it wasn't for you, I would still be in my other home and my kids wouldn't have a place to live. And because of you, I went through with it. I sold my home. We have the bigger home. Our family all lives there and we're all super excited about it. And so I'm going to be referring you some business. And he gave me 2 referrals. And so this is how you become a better realtor. You make sure you know the tax rules and you know how to help your client. Because if this is your full-time career and you make the best of it, you will be a great realtor and you will get referrals because this business is about referrals. It's not about YouTube, it's not about TikTok, it's not about Instagram. Yeah, you may be lucky to get some deals off of those, but you're not going to build your business around that. And you know that real estate agents, oh, I rock. Thank you so much. And you know that building relationships and building business back in the day and how insurance people and realtors and everybody builds business is by getting out and meeting people. And I haven't told this story because I don't want to put it on my YouTube page because I don't want him to think I'm just using him as an example. But as an example, so if he sees this, it was great meeting you in the parking garage. How about that? So he'll probably know who he is when he says great meeting you in the parking garage. Because on Fridays, I take my mom to the hairdresser and I drop her off at 10:30. So at approximately, I can't see you. So somebody purchased a home in the same city, the same price they can. Okay, so that's a good question. Thank you for asking. So he said if you buy, no, it's not just the same city. So it's proposition. So originally, I believe it was proposition 5, and then it got changed to proposition 19. And so it's not just the same city, it's the state of California. So if you live in California, so it depends on what state you live in. So you have to look up your state laws and you have to follow your state association. So I'm California and I'm on the board of directors of California Association of Realtors and it says realtor. And so by me going to those meetings, the meetings I like to go to the local policy. So what's that say? It says, hello, I passed. Oh, you passed it. Congratulations. So all our students keep passing, which is super cool. So if you're a local realtor and you join when you join your association, you also pay to join your state association and your national association. Oh my God. Somebody says, I took your crash course 3 times since July and you passed. Oh my God, congratulations. And Arlene said, "Hey, Lynn, how's it going? Congratulations." So see, our people pass, and we're not even paying them to be on. They're just catching us on right now. So if you join your association and you go to your state meetings, they have different committees that meet. And so if you're in California, we're going to be meeting in Anaheim in 2 weeks. Da, 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 da. So it's going to be Tuesday to Friday. I believe it's the 19th. Oh my gosh. If you guys haven't taken, oh, you're so sweet. If you haven't taken my class, you've got to do it. I can't read as fast as you guys are writing. We did have one girl. God, you guys are throwing me off. This is so fun. I love being live with you. So depending on what city, not state you're in, but didn't I can't talk. Depending what state you're in will depend on your laws. And so California Association of Realtors saw the need to be able to transfer your taxes. And that's why that law came out. So originally it said you had to sell your house and buy a house for the same price or less, and it had to be within one of 11 or 12 counties. And so then we went back and we fought for it and we said, why can't it be for the whole state? And why can't it be like if I sell my house for $1 million, what if I can't find something that I like for less than $1 million? What if I find something for 1,000,001 or 1,000,002? Okay, so what they did was they made it so you could buy anywhere in California instead of just those local areas, and you can buy anywhere in California for any price. But but if I sell my house for 1,000,000 and I buy something for 1,000,002, my tax base for the million will pass over, and then the extra 200,000 would be prorated based on what I paid for my property. So it's really cool to learn the tax rules as long as you say to my client, like you say to your clients, I always sit down and I go, okay, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, but we're going to look at what you want to do and we're going to do what's best for you. So that's what makes a best realtor. Because somebody asked me, one of the nether questions was asked, tell us how we can be the best realtor or the best agent and stand out and be different than the rest. Well, how you can be different from the rest is actually care about your clients. If you actually care about your clients and you have actual knowledge to help them, that's what's going to make you stand out above the rest. So, I mean, I sit down with my clients and I ask them, honestly, whenever somebody wants to sell a home, I'm a real estate, everybody goes, "Are you a real estate broker?" Because you don't want them to sell their home. I go, "Yes, I'm a real estate broker, but I want to do what's best for my clients." So when I sit down with them, I say, "I know you called me here to sell your home, but do you really want to sell your home? And can you tell me why?" And it says, "What courses do you have to take to be a mortgage lender?" To be a mortgage lender, there's only one class. It's a 20-hour class, and it's usually either all weekend. So it's all weekend. It's a 20-hour class. Um, God, I forget how I did that when I taught for real estate trainers. But oh, I think we did all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then part of Monday. But then we switched it to being a class. It says, don't forget, give the video likes. Oh, you guys, so Denise is my favorite cheerleader. Arlene and I are going to hire her to be an additional publicist for me because I have to find a publicist. But anyway, um, the mortgage class that somebody just asked about, you have to take a 20-hour class. That's your national class. And then you have to take the hours for the state that's state specific. So the mortgage people have caught up with the whole thing, where in all the states, you take the national test and you take a national class and then state specific. Do you know a place where I can take the MLO class? There's one called Mortgage Educators, and I would say they would be the best. We're gearing up, and Arlene's going to shoot me for saying this. We're gearing up to do a cram course video for the mortgage loan officers because a lot of people keep asking me if I will do the mortgage class. I can't do the mortgage class because I'm doing the real estate class all the time. But since the need is there, I'm going to videotape an MLO class. Right now, I don't have the current one, but if you want, and you text me directly and you like me and comment, I will send you the cram course that I taught out of the Hondros book. So for the MLOs out there, the Hondros book is the best book. Now, I only have, I think, up to, oh my God, I can't read it so quick. Require your buyers to sign a contract. Okay. So now you're asking me the buyer's contract. I'm going to do a class on the buyer's contract because our association has done several classes on it, and it's time for me to do a class on the buyer's contract. So I'm going to do it. You'll definitely take that one. I'm going to do, I'll probably, I don't know if that's going to be a free one, Denise, but since you're my publicist, we'll get you in on a free class and or I'll coach you. How about since you're doing, I mean, you get out there and you really let people know that I exist and give me a call. And what we'll do is I'll help you train through the buyer's contract. How about that? At no charge to you. So, see, I mean, we like to, what goes around comes around. And so the mortgage contract, how long would you sign it for? So basically, what happened, and I don't want to keep you guys on all night, but we have lots of questions, is the buyer's contract originally a couple of days. You're so awesome. So a couple of years ago, when the buyer's contract came out, nobody wanted to use it. Well, nobody wanted to use it because what agents did was they said, Mr. Buyer, here, I have this contract for you, and I want you to sign it for 9 months. And for the next 9 months, you're only going to work with me. And if you find a property or you don't like working with me, too bad, you're going to pay me a commission. Okay. Well, that's basically how it went down. And of course, buyers didn't want to sign it because if you're a buyer and agent A says to you, you have to sign a buyer's contract, and B says to you, you don't have to sign a contract. I'll show you homes and help you get a house. Which one are you going to go with? The one you don't have to sign anything with, right? Well, now it looks like we do have the contract. It looks like CAR, the California Association of Realtors, wants to make it mandatory. And the reason they want to make it mandatory is because people are not signing. It says, got any tips on how to pass the safe exam the first try? Okay, yeah, I do. If you text me directly, I will send you the videos I did on the mortgage cram course. How about that? You love my crash course lessons. I can only read them so fast, but Arlene will let me know if I missed anything. So, because she's right there. Yay. Yeah, there's a couple of people that are asking me about the MLO class. I don't have a professional video and it's not the most current, but the book that you want to get is the Hondros Refresher. You got that? Hondros, it's Hondros, I believe. Their refresher book has everything you need in it to pass the safe exam. Now, I did a class with that book, but I'm not sure which edition it was. I think it was the 10th edition, maybe the 11th. But I think they're up more. It says, "What is the requirement to purchase a studio apartment?" Well, if you call me or text me, what we'll do is we'll talk about what you need to qualify for it. You can't wait to the class. You're so cute. I know Monday's our class. Monday's our crown course. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so somebody asked me a question before you threw me off. But anyway, Monday we're doing the real estate exam prep. It starts at 6 p.m. It goes until 9:30 p.m. We allow you to ask as many questions as you need to because it's me tutoring you. Whether there's 15 people or 35 people or 40 people, you're still allowed to ask as many questions as you want. I give scenarios because the state exam is scenarios. That means they're going to say, John and Kathy Smith bought a house. This is what happened. This is what the seller did. I didn't know your test was the 8th. I thought you already passed. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. You're going to be with us. So the state, I just kicked the whole table. It went, so anyway, scenarios, you have to understand how to answer the scenario. What would you do in this situation? So you have to be able to answer the questions. You can't just take a word association. Your test is on Monica, your test is on the 8th. Are you signed up for our class? Are you going to be there? Best ever. You had some of your questions. Oh, some of my questions were on your exam. That's awesome. Yes, I will text me next week. You love my stories. You're so cool. So that story about that was Moreno Valley, the guy with the pool. And that was super cool. So you got to build relationships. I got another story for you. And then you guys are so fun. You're going to make me want to come on every night. So anyway, the other story that I was going to tell you, let me think about it. I know I told you guys the story about how you building relationships is going to get you business. Oh, I know what story I was going to tell you because I've told it before. So I was training this one girl. So we're right now training 3 agents, and if they don't kick it up and don't get moving, we're going to have to find somebody else who wants to work with me, and I'll train you. And so, anyways, I only do 3 at a time, and right now we have 3. So Arlene can take 3 also if she wants to. It's up to her, Arlene. And Arlene coaches, if not as good, but better than me, because she is in the trenches. Arlene was one of those ones that got to do the Zillow phone calls. So if you have any questions about, paying for leads and making those phone calls, you can talk to Arlene about it because everybody thinks that it's easy to get leads by making phone calls and all that good stuff. The best way to get leads is to build your relationships. I'll work with you. You're so cute. Yeah, come on down, Denise. Is it Denise? I can't see it. I think it is. So, anyways, one of the things that I got to tell you, I talk to my past students all the time. You guys all want to come work for us? Okay, give me a call. We'll talk. So Harlene's making notes. So anyway, what happened is I always, every so often, I pick up the phone and I randomly call a student or somebody from YouTube. And I'm like, hey, it's Sharon Butler. How can I help you? Or, hey, it's Sharon Butler. What are you doing? Or how are you doing in your real estate business? And this one person just recently, I think it was today or yesterday, I said, well, how are you doing? And they go, I just closed. Now, if you're listening, I'm telling your story. I just closed my first deal. And I said, okay. Oh, now we got a new person coming. With a loan, you work with a loan officer. I didn't get the whole thing. Maybe Arlene caught it. But anyway, so they called me and said, I just closed my first deal. And I'm like, how much was it? And they said 800,000. And I'm like, wow, congratulations, your first deal, 800,000. And they said, yeah. And I said, well, were you the buyer's agent or the seller's agent? And they said they were the buyer's agent. I'm like, how come I didn't get the loan? I have an amazing loan team that's been doing loans with me for the last 40 years or so. And they're like, well, I work in an office and the office has their own mortgage company and all this wonderful stuff. I'm listening to it ever since I can't see it all. I hate when I can't read them all. I should have my glasses right by me. But anyway, so they said they had their own agent. So I'm like, that's cool. And I go, I got to ask you, you want to work with us? Just call us. You're in Monterey. I'm going to be in Monterey in January. You've got to come see me. Do you know where the Monterey Convention Center is? Yes, I know. I passed. You passed because of me? Okay, so I'm going to be in Monterey with California Association of Realtors in January. But we're going to be in Anaheim in 2 weeks. We're going to be in Anaheim from Tuesday to Friday. And then in November, the National Association is going to be there. Now, the meetings that you want to go to, if you're a member of the association, you want to go to local policies and procedures. You want to go to the government meetings. You want to go to the tax meetings. You want to go all those meetings that have to do with keeping our property taxes down and with keeping and fighting for home ownership and property rights. Because without home ownership and property rights, and without us being able to help them, nobody's going to be able to have a wealth, because you build wealth through real estate. So I know I was asking another question. So I have another question from this morning. I want to go with you to Anaheim. Well, then come with us to Anaheim. Where are you from? Are you the one in Monterey? So I already, believe it or not, you guys got to jump on this stuff, because when I say stuff, you got to jump on it. I'll sign up. Hope to see you. Yes. So so because I'm president-elect of my board, they're paying for me to go, and I have to be there. And so I get a nice room. And so one of my students called me and we were talking, and she wanted to put her license with me. And I invited her, because I always get a bedroom with two beds, invited her to stay with me. So she's coming down from Concord, California to stay with me in Anaheim. We should, yeah, we can get a group together for Anaheim. Easy. Maybe we can go karaoke or talk about real estate, whichever you want to do. Because I don't live far from Anaheim. They still get me a hotel room, but I'm still about 20 minutes away, because you have to be at the meetings at 8 o'clock in the morning. So the meetings start pretty early. But we have another question from this morning. And I know my people from this morning want their questions answered. So I answered most of them. Remember, to be a better realtor, you have to have knowledge. You have to be able to help your clients. You have to build relationships, and you have to know all the tax laws. We should get shirts done. We could do that. I have these really cool shirts. And Arlene, we should decorate them and put them on that way that you do them, where they do it per shirt. It said on the front, hashtag real estate. And on the back side, it said, the butler did it. Now, poor Arlene, every time I'm like, we should do this, she's like, she's on it and she gets it done. She kicks butt. So anyways, the question I have on here that somebody wanted answered this morning is, how do we negotiate multiple offers? Well, my question to that person was, are you on the buyer's side or the seller side? So because that person's not on here right now, or I don't know, and they're going to probably see this later, how you negotiate multiple offers. It says, yes, I passed. Cool. Where are you at? I can't see it. God, that was a long one. So anyway, how do you negotiate multiple offers? Well, if you're a seller, yes, I do. I'll sign up. For Monterey, that's cool. I always pass recommended her. I'm the best. Cool. All right. So multiple offers. So if you're the listing agent and you have multiple offers, okay, you are supposed to tell the other side. You're supposed to say if you have multiple offers. So as a listing agent, if I have 5 or 6 or 8 offers and somebody comes, hey, there he is. Yes, I'm here. Thank you. So did you hear the one that I taught? I know you asked about getting a loan on so you can avoid the capital gains. It goes by your purchase price, not the loan amount that you owe on the house when you sell it. Okay. Also, you get to add in what's called the adjusted tax basis. So the tax basis is the purchase price. The adjusted tax basis, remember, I'm not a CPA, I'm just a broker. The adjusted tax base is whatever you've done to the property and your acquisition cost. So let's say that you bought a property for $150, but your closing costs were $5,000. Okay, so your acquisition cost is $550. It costs you $5,000 to acquire it. So now your adjusted tax basis is $555,000. But then you put $100,000 in to fix it. So now you're at $655,000. And then you put in a really beautiful new kitchen for 50,000. So now you're at 600 grand. If you're at 600 grand and you sell it for 700 grand, that's $100,000 capital gain. And whether you're single or married, you're not going to have to pay it, because you have that 250 or that $500,000 base. Now, remember, they haven't changed that in over 20 years. And so there's a Senate bill out right now that's going to raise that to $1 million and 500,000. So when you're voting next year in 2024, make sure you read and understand what we're voting for, and go to the National Association of Realtors and the California Association and see what we're backing. Because if we will be either for it or opposed to it, or we'll have no comment. If we're for it, you should look at it, read it, and believe. If you're for it, go with the National Association of Realtors, because we're for homeowners' rights and we're for homeowners. If it's something that we oppose, you might want to vote against it. So, but I can't tell you how to vote. So just read it and make sure you understand it and see what our stand is on it, because we literally have committees vote on it. Then the committee takes it to the actual board, all the directors, which is over 800 of us. And we all make sure we agree on the vote, and then we vote on it and we let our legislators know. And I don't think anybody out there knows how hard we work with the legislation to make sure that we help homeowners and we help people buy homes, because that's what we do. That's what we do. We're realtors. They get mad at me when I say it wrong, because I got so used to saying realtor like a lot of people. There's no A in there, okay? So going on to negotiating the multiple offers. You guys got to know your code of ethics. Most people out there, you join your board and you're supposed to learn the code of ethics, and some people don't learn it. In the code of ethics, it says, if I have multiple offers, it says, does SB ever completely answer any questions before moving on? I'm sorry, which question did you want me to answer? Tell me which one and I'll completely answer it. I answered the capital gains one. I answered the fact that you cannot get a loan and hope that your tax base counts on that. Transfer tax base is being over, I believe it's 55 years old. Somebody mentioned the 1031 tax exchange. 1031 tax exchange, it says how multiple offers. Okay, I'll get on the multiple offers. The 1031 tax exchange is for investment properties only. So the one where you take your tax base with you, that's not a 1031 tax exchange. And that's on any property in California, not just a city or a county. And you can take it with you and you can buy any price. If you go higher than what you sell your house for, then you have to be prorated. If you go the same or lower, you're still going to get your tax base you had. And I talked about already how to stand out. How to stand out and be the best realtor is to be knowledgeable and know all your tax laws and rules and know what's happening currently in the market. Negotiating the offers. We'll stick with that because that's what you want to stay with. So if you're the seller's agent, you have to follow your code of ethics and you have to answer questions. Somebody just asked me something about the 1031 tax exchange and I missed it, Arlene. So let me stick with the multiple offers, then I'll go to the 1031 tax exchange. You guys are having like a big long class. I know I haven't been on for a while, so it's the fact is you're going to get all you want here because I don't have to do anything tonight. So let's stick with the multiple offers. If you're the seller's agent and you know your code of ethics, you have to answer questions that people ask you, and you have to be ethical, and you have to make sure that your fiduciary duty to your seller is there. So if somebody calls me and I have multiple offers, I have to tell you, I have multiple offers. We're going to be reviewing the offers with the seller. And once we're done reviewing the offers with the seller, we will give you a counter offer. Okay. Now, when we go to do the counter offers, I hate that this happens. Congratulations, Lewis. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. You passed your test. So with that, as the seller's agent, we have to give the multiple offers. And the one that I hate that everybody does because they have to get the best deal for their seller is give us your highest and best. Okay. Now, the thing that really sucks about the highest and best is as the buyer's agent, we could have the highest and best offer in there. Our offer could be the highest offer, but we don't know. So what we have to do is we have to see what the value of the property is and make a decision if we want to go higher than what we are already asked, or if we want to just say, what you have from us is already our highest and best. Okay. But the best thing that you can do if you're representing the buyer is try to communicate with the seller's agent. Even though the seller's agent's really busy and they have a bunch of offers, you're allowed to ask them questions. You're allowed to say, well, do you have multiple offers? They're supposed to let you know, well, we have 20 offers, or we have 5 offers, or we have multiple offers. Okay. Then my next question to them is, okay, so if you have multiple offers, do you have a lot of offers over the asking price. They have to tell you if you have offers over the asking price, and they have to tell you, like I may say, well, I don't have the asking price, but I have several offers close to the asking price. So if you read your code of ethics, you'll know that they can't just blow you off and say nothing. Because if they blow you off and say nothing, you can report them as an ethics violation and have them go to, it says, can they lie about the offers? No, they cannot lie about the offers. If they lie about the offers and you can prove it, you can do what's called a grievance. So you can file a grievance. And if you file a grievance, they'll go in front of a group of their peers that are all realtors. And a lot of people don't do that. Well, in our business, we police each other. And if you don't police each other, and they let's say they bring an offer from somebody they're representing and they blow off all the offers they got. Now, if they do that and you can prove that your offer was higher and better, then you can actually take them to grievance. So there's lots of things you can do. But the whole point of the matter is we're all supposed to work together. And if we work together and we help each other, it'll be better for our clients. So that's my answer for the multiple offers. So if you're the listing agent on the multiple offers, you're supposed to disclose, we have multiple offers and we have several offers above the asking price. And then if the other agent says, well, how high above the asking price? Well, we can't tell you the exact numbers, but we can say, substantially higher or slightly higher, but they do have to let you know what they're doing. So if you've only completed your 3 classes, Arlene's probably going to answer you for them. It says also you can file a complaint with the Department of Real Estate. Um, what I would do first is I would file with their board, a grievance with their board and see if they've done something wrong. If they've done something wrong, their board will actually report it to the Department of Real Estate and they could lose their license because you're supposed to be acting in the best interest of your clients. And if you're not, and you sneak one of your offers in, even though you have 20 other offers from other people, it's going to be obvious because you're going to have both offers. And you better be able to prove that if somebody had a better offer, that there's a justifiable reason why you took the offer from your client as opposed to the other person. Does that make sense? So I know somebody else had another question, Arlene. It was regarding the 1031 tax exchange, but what did they exactly want to know? Do you want me to go through the whole 1031 tax exchange? Or hi there, how you doing? Ashley, is it Ashley? How you doing? I'm glad you're here. So you guys make sure you like and you share. And we're trying to help everybody be great real estate agents and love your business and understand that your association and your board is there to help you if you have any problems with other agents on other sides. I do highly suggest that you try to call, if you have a problem with somebody, call their broker first and try to communicate with their broker. Communication is key with us. And if you don't communicate with the other side, they might not want to work with you. Can you get licensed, revoked, or restricted? If what? Can I get my license revoked or restricted if what? I think Arlene's answering one of you guys. Oh, if you lie, you can get your license revoked or restricted because you're supposed to be doing what's in the best interest of your client. So on the 1031 tax exchange, someone had a question about that. That is for investment purposes only. Can I take my California license and practice in another state? No, you have to, Ashley, you have to have the other state. Like if you're going to sell property in Arizona, you have to get the Arizona license. And you have to be careful with the different licenses because some of them want you to have what's called brick and mortar. That means they want you to live in their state in order to get their license. So, like my son bought a property in Nevada. So if I go and be a retired mom in Nevada, I can go out there and do properties there. But you can have double licenses. But what you can do, which is really cool, is if you have a client that's looking like I had a young lady who had her license was under me. Her client sold her property here, and I said, make sure you ask her where she's going. And she was going to Colorado. And so I said, well, when she goes to Colorado, what you can do is you can call agents in Colorado. Let's say that you work at a Keller Williams. You can call a Keller Williams in Nevada or in Colorado, wherever your client's moving to. And you can say, hey, my name is Kathy Smith. I'm with Keller Williams here in California. And I have a listing here. And I would like to refer somebody at your office, my person. What's your referral fee? So you can refer somebody to an agent that you build a relationship with in another state. That's another cool reason why why you want to get involved with NAR because NAR is the National Association. And when I went to NAR, I met a lot of people from different states. And so, no more on Biden. I didn't say anything about Biden. No, God, no. So anyway, what I did was I met other people from different states. And so if I don't have my license there, I can refer my clients who are moving out of California to them, and they can legally send me a referral fee. So I know that when you take the state exam for California, you cannot you cannot get referral fees, but sales agents cannot get referral fees. Brokers can get real referral fees from other real estate agents. It says, is there a license I can get in California that allows me to? Oh, it went away. So just call him. I mean, if you have any questions, text me or call me. I'm here to help you. But what I'm going to do whenever I do this in the morning and I say, any questions for me? Arlene will capture all the questions, which we did here. And then I'll come on before I go to bed at night and answer all your questions like right now, because my bedtime's 10 o'clock. I'm a wussy. I go to bed at 10 and I wake up at 6 because waking up in the morning is better for you than anything else. 1031. What did you want to know about the 1031 tax exchange? I'll give you a brief rundown. So the 1031 tax exchange is for like kind properties, like kind for like kind. What that means is investment property for investment property. So it doesn't have to be apartment building for apartment building or vacant land for vacant land. So I'll give you the example I use in class when I'm teaching it. So basic, and we don't even teach this in the class, but it could be on the state exam. So we should add that. Arlene, can you make a note of that for us to add that in the tax area? Says earlier we post this. So basically, we need to add the 1031 tax exchange along with the boot. So the boot is any cash you get in your hand. So let's start with a piece of vacant land. You have a piece of vacant land, you bought that for $100,000 and you held on to it and did nothing with it. And now you find out that it's worth $1 million. You have a $900,000 capital gain. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do about that $900,000? So instead of selling it and taking the $900,000 and doing whatever you're going to do with it, you might be going, I'm going to flip houses. Well, do it with a 1031 tax exchange. You can take that. I'm going to go crazy on you right now. Let me do the easy one. And then I'll say, well, you could have flipped it. So let's say you sell it, you get the 900,000. You don't want to touch it. Don't touch it. It's hot. It's like a hot potato. Because if you touch that cash, now you have to pay the capital gains on $900,000. So instead of touching that money, you sell that property, but you find another property that you can put that money into. So let's say I sell that piece of vacant land, I get $1 million, I don't touch it, it goes through a 1031 tax exchange, and I buy an apartment complex. Now I'm not paying any taxes on it. It's not gone. It's being deferred to that next property. So I buy that apartment complex and I put the 100,000 into it, and now I fix it up, rent it out, get nice, good renters. Everything's going good. And let's say I want to sell that apartment complex and I sell it for $2.5 million. And now I have a bigger capital gain. I can defer that to a bigger apartment complex. Does that make sense? So you're deferring the tax to the next investment property. Now, let's say I want to take some money out. I probably shouldn't do this on the video because here goes. If I sell it for $1 million and I have a $900,000 capital gain, let's say that I go, I really don't want to put all that money into the next investment and defer it. I want some of that money. So I'm going to take 100,000 from me and use 800,000 into the next property. It says it's important to know about the SB. Oh, yes, it's important to know about all the SBs. The SBs are Senate bills. So follow the Senate bills and read them, but look up on the National Association of Realtors and the California Association to see what we're following and what we're backing. Because if you know what we're backing, in fact, they had one today that was a red alert. If you're a licensed agent and you're part of the board, they'll send you a red alert for you to call your congressman or your assembly person and talk to them about what's going on so that they can vote in the way that's best for homeowners and Americans. How about that? So back to my 1031 tax exchange. So if I want some of that money, if I take 100 grand and I take the other 800,000 and invest it on a 1031 tax exchange, if I touch it, remember it's a hot potato, I can't touch it. If I touch it, I have to pay capital gains tax on it. So you don't want to do that. But one guy told me, I'm not saying I did it because I didn't do it. One of my students told me, he goes, Sharon, you know what I did? And I go, well, what did you do? He goes, I bought a small townhome I fixed it up and I was going to flip it. And since it was an investment property, I 1031 tax changed it into a new flip. Oh my God. Did you guys just hear me say that? Know what the realtor party is. Yes, Arlene's telling you, look up and make sure you know what the realtor party. Now, the realtor party is not red and it's not blue. So we're not Republicans. We're not Democrats. We're for the homeowners. We're for the Americans. So you take red and blue and you put them together, and what do you get? Purple. So purple's our color that you're going to wear at the National Association meetings in Anaheim in November. So back to my 1031 tax exchange. So you saw what I did. You take the money, you defer it to the next investment. So my home flipper, you know what he did? Follow me carefully. Remember, I told you if you touch the cash, you have to pay the taxes on it. And Arlene's reminding me to tell you to touch the button. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you like and you comment, because I'm going to be president next year of my board. And as president of my board and as president elect currently, I'm going to be taking notes of everything they send me to, and I'm going to let you guys know what's happening. So last Friday, I went to, her name's Linda Sanchez. I went to her um, State of the Nation. Unfortunately, it wasn't very good. I'm going to say that. So I was not impressed. She has a luncheon coming up next week. I'm going to go to that. Thanks. It says, Arlene, I'm 20 minutes away from Anaheim. Oh, cool. You guys, everybody that's going to Anaheim, we're going to do it this time. We're going to meet somewhere and have just like a meeting, maybe like, I don't know, go somewhere. We'll figure something out. So, back to my guy. So on the 1031 tax exchange, if you touch any of that money, it's called, on the state exam, it's called the boot. And on the boot, how do you pick a broker? I have a class on that. It's called I Got My License. What do I do? Maybe we'll do I Got My License. What do I do live one time? One more time. Should we do it one more time? We can do it. Arlene, let's do it on Zoom. You and I will pick a date and we'll advertise to everybody. I got my license. What do I do? We'll give them a special price that will be super affordable. Can you transfer investment property to another? I missed that one. Arlene, can you grab? I hope you're grabbing the questions that he's asking. So let's say that I buy a townhome and I fix it all up and I put money into it and I have a huge capital gain and I don't want to pay the capital gains on it. This is what my house flipper did. He wanted some of the money, but he didn't want to take it out when he sold the property because it would be a boot and he'd have to pay taxes on it. So this is what he did, and he said it works. And he said his tax guy said he could do this. So don't take it from me. Listen to what I say. Check with your CPA, especially if you're going to flip houses. So what he did was he bought this property, and after he bought it, he fixed it up. Okay. Then he refinanced it and took as much cash out as he could. And then he did a 1031 tax exchange. Now, I don't know how that worked out for him, but he says he does it all the time. So he flips houses, and when it's ready to sell, he 1031 tax exchanges it into a new flip, and he defers the capital gain onto the next property. How about that? So I have been on here for almost, oh my gosh, an hour. I answered all your questions and the new questions you asked me. And so what we'll do, maybe once a week, we'll do a morning session where I ask you, okay, hit me with your questions. And then in the afternoon, after I change clothes and do my makeup, I'll answer all your questions. Okay. So you guys think about questions you have for me and what you want to do about real estate. Yes, I'll do. I got my license. What do I do? Arlene and I will look at the calendar tonight or tomorrow, and we will 100% do I got my license. What do I do? And you guys can join us. We'll do it for a super affordable price, so it makes sense for you to do it. And we will see you again on YouTube. So stay with us, learn as much as you can about real estate, and build your wealth, whether you're a real estate agent or you just want to be an investor or you want to do both. So call me, text me, thumbs up, and comment, because I go on the comments and I answer them now. I found a sneaky way to get in there and answer them real quick. So let me know anything you want to know about real estate. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye. And I don't know how to shut it off, so you guys are stuck with me all night, right? I don't know. It says, I don't know. It says I have to stay on all night. It doesn't have my X where I cross it off. All right. I'll see you next time.